Hello, this is Neil McDermott. I'm creating a screencast on Scholastic Achievement Manager, and on this episode we're going to show you how to change the settings within your class, within your group, or for individual students. Now, what we're looking at right now is a test account. It's called Test Teacher, FastMath, and I've created a class with 4 students in it. They're all some of the U.S. presidents, and within that group within that class I also have a group called the Dollar Bill Group, which is a smaller group of only 2 students. So depending on how I view it, if I look at the Dollar Bill Group, I only see the 2 students that are in there. If I click on the entire class, I'll see all 4 students that are in my class. Alright, with that in mind, we're going to change the settings for our groups. So if we go down to FastMath Next Generation, and we go over here to the blue link that says Settings, if we click this, right now I'll be able to change the settings for the entire class. And the entire class settings is happening because we're highlighted right here. Whatever is in a bright gold is what you're going to be manipulating. So right now, if I go over settings and I click on this, I will change the settings for all 4 students simultaneously. And at this time, I can set the operation. I'll put them all in for addition from 0 to 12. They can do 1 lesson per day or 2 lessons per day. That's useful if you're going to have them work in class but also at home. You also have the layouts to give you horizontal, vertical, or mixed. And the standard language, we could just leave that alone. So that's all the features here for standard settings. Now if I was to hit save, all those will go into effect for all 4 students simultaneously. So if I click that, it'll load it up, and now those settings are in place for all of them. Now I can also make adjustments within my class. Let's say I want to do something special just for the Dollar Bill Group. I click on that. Now they are highlighted in a gold, and if I click on settings, I will only be adjusting the settings for just those 2 students that are in that group. So if I want to customize the group for them, maybe I want to give that group the ability to do mixed, I could do that, and if I hit save, that'll be the adjustment for that. Okay, and once again, it'll load for a minute, and then those settings that I placed will take place for just the Dollar Bill Group. Now let's say go back to our whole class again, and just load up for a second. I can also make an adjustment for an individual student in class and leave everyone else alone. So let's say George Washington needs something special. I click on him so he turns gold. I go with FastMath Next Generation. I click on settings. I'll get the same menu, and I can make adjustments just for George. Now there's an additional tab here that's useful. It's called the Advanced Settings. So I click on that and a new menu will show up, and this will allow us to make special accommodations. The standard response time for an activity is 1.25 seconds. If I have a student who has additional processing time and needs a little bit of extra time to complete their task, I could take George Washington and give him 1.75 seconds for completing an activity. Additionally, let's say the standard problem has 60 questions in it. I can adjust it. I can give George fewer questions. I can give George more questions depending on what he needs. So I'm going to give George a few less questions, and I'm going to hit save and return. Now we could also, this is another one over here, if he needs to retake his placement assessment, I could turn that on and I can have him retake his initial test. But I hit this in place, and now those adjustments will go in place only for George because he's the only one highlighted. So in summary, if I highlight test class, whatever changes I make in my settings will affect the entire class. For me it's 4, but for you it'll be more. If I hit my group, I will be making setting adjustments just for a small group. In this case only 2. Or if I wanted to, I could click an individual student and just make setting adjustments just for that person. Alright, so that will be particularly useful as students at the beginning of the year. They will all be going through and taking the same operation, but at a certain point of the year a student might be moving along very quickly, and Abraham Lincoln might be ready to move on to the next operation, maybe move on to subtraction, or I could skip him around. So I don't want to move the whole class. If Abraham is flying high, he's going fast, I might only want to move just him. So this gives you the ability for individual control. Alright, so I hope this video was helpful. It gives you control for your entire class. It gives you control for individual groups, or all the way down to a particular student. Alright, if you have any questions, please contact me. My email is nmcdermott@lynbrook.k12.ny.us. I hope you have a great day.